Hello everybody, and here we are down at the Austrian Grand Prix. We've been developing a lot more parts, so we should be a lot faster around here than we've probably ever been in any other race. I think 4 new parts came through, so we should be flying out here. And if we're not, well, that's just sad. Alrighty, let's get straight down to the track. Let's go. Alrighty, here we are for flying lap number 1. And let's see what kind of place or pace we can settle ourselves into. Alrighty, starting lap now. Beautiful run through the first corner there, opening the DRS. And we are flying through this windy straight here. I'm braking rather well through that corner there, losing a little bit of time, but that's alright. Opening the DRS once again. Damn, this track just eats at DRS. Terribly slow through there. And yeah, our ERS is almost all gone. I did not know Austria did this much damage to your car's ERS. Wow. Setting a fastest sector 2. And we are entering one of the final corners. Packing some pace through there. Not a bad exit through there. Open the DRS. And come in at P1 to start. Not bad.
Top 3 today, Thomas, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race. Welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Thomas lines up on pole position and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Butler, Gasly, Stroll, Weber and Sergio Perez, Norris, Hamilton, Nico Hülkenberg and Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Russell, Daniel Kvyat and Robert Kubica, Albon, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
You've done well to put it on pole, but we've still got work to do. Trying to cover the inside line off the start.
Alrighty, here we are down at the track on the Austrian Grand Prix. We have managed to place pole position here, which is looking lovely for us, as we did set a flying qualifying lap. And yes, I have still not changed the launch to manual. Now it's still automatic launch, which is not fun, but we're going to have to try and get fast off this line if we're going to keep, well, any ground in the first few corners. Let's get onto the race. Oh, but first, before that, we have the strategy for today. 7 laps on the soft tires and 11 laps on the mediums. I think I might... What happens if I bring that down? 1, 2... That seems fine to me today. That seems rather good. And let's get on to the race. Alrighty, here we go. Pretty bad launch for us there, as we do get swallowed up by the front runners here. And we do get side slammed, and Vettel's been spun. And I get a warning for a collision with that when I went wide. which is something very odd to see, but not unusual for me, as Bottas is just flying away here. We'll turn our fuel mix up into rich for this race, well, for the first couple laps. And with this new powertrain engine, we are definitely starting to make some ground on Bottas here. Going extremely wide.
Focus now for the rest of the race.
We do set a faster sector 1. Alrighty. That is lap 1 complete. So we do die. We'll brake late into the first corner here, but Bottas does manage to pull on us every time on the straights, which is definitely not surprising. We might attempt to make a move very shortly, right behind Bottas here, and we do get a little bit slippery through that corner there, and we do lose the back end, and we are forced to swerve. We're going to try and make a move on Bottas. This is the next corner, I'm pretty sure here. We're going to try and go for one here. Nah, just trying to not break our front wing. We're going to have to turn down our ERS as we swerve. As we proceed to make even more time on Bottas. And we do set the fastest lap.
Fastest lap of the race so far.
But we're going to have to charge this ERS, otherwise we're not going to be able to make any ground. Going up the inside on Bottas here, and we do manage to take P1 back. Lovely.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
And Bottas goes for a move up to turn 3 here when we go wide. But we do manage to stay ahead of him. And Jeff, just like Jeff said, we still have wear on our MGU, since when I tried to replace it the other day, well, it was still pending, and, well, I guess it did not replace for this race. And that is not something good to see. Meaning when we use our ERS, we're going to be a lot slower. And Dembala has also retired, somehow. Most likely an engine failure. Alright, we will be boxing this lap.
In this lap, push now.
Thank you for confirming, Jeff. So yeah, we're going to have to try and make a little bit of a gap here between me and Bottas.
You've lost some time to the car behind.
Yes. We have, as you can see, he's just flying down here as our, well, our MGUK is pretty much at 75% here, and we are going to be losing a lot of ERS power. So we're not going to be pulling very far, and we're also getting a little bit low on fuel. So we better try and hold this gap. And our team better make a quick stop, because otherwise we're going to be swallowed up, and our...
Reduce the ERS deployment, please. We need to charge the battery.
Okay, Jeff. Our MGU is not going to be very useful, so we're going to have to try and use most of it on raw speed. Definitely the ERS. Okay. Okay, that's nice. Alrighty, here we go. Alright, we are low on fuel, low on ERS, and have a worn MGUK. I reckon we can still probably come out on top here. Maybe still definitely somewhere in the podium if we try hard enough.
Go now.
Alrighty. Nice stop. 1.9, that is a lot nicer.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Rightio, Jeff. And we come out, I think that is in P6. Right behind Stroll, who is actually in Red Bull. which I did not know. I actually did not know he changed teams. Wow, that's a shock. We are a bit focused on Stroll there and not being able. Well, we're definitely not focused on him since we do run off the track, and we do make a lovely pit stop and emerge out in P5. Well, P6, but we get a position back on Lance Stroll. Alrighty, I do believe most of the front runners now will be making their stops, and Hamilton's deciding to stay out and stay on his worn soft tyres, as Bottas and Verstappen have just gone in for their laps, and we do manage to get past both of them while they are in the pit lane. And we are really close to Lewis Hamilton now, going for a move on the straight to get past him. That was beautiful. And Leclerc is still in the lead, but has not made for his stop, so we should be able to get him on lap 12, I think. He should be coming in this lap. Right, Leclerc is in for his stop, and we do get past him while he's in the pits, and we do set the fastest lap of the race once again. And we teammate is also in the pits now. Righty, nice move, Lando, going in on end of lap 11 and coming on to lap 12. I wonder how many positions he's going to lose. If he lost none, that would be nice, and gained a couple as the exit, that would be beautiful. And Bottas and Verstappen, sorry, are right behind us here. Couple seconds a gap. Alrighty, here we are entering the final lap of the race.
This is your final lap of the race.
Thank you for the heads up, Jeff. Let's give it our best lap. What a beautiful race. Easy lead at the end there, winning by over 5 seconds to Bottas. Great race.
Drivers' standings. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today, as they make their way up the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.